Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about the LaRosa Solo Seat conversion kit for Harley Sportsters. You should be looking into the LaRosa Solo Seat conversion kit if you're looking to run a sprung saddle on your Sporty, but you don't feel like cutting, chopping, and welding to make such a thing happen. Now these things are currently being made for Sporties 08 on up, so if you have a rubber mount, you should be set to rock and roll. Installation on these is either going to be a difficult one or an easy two, depending on how you want to look at things and exactly what kind of seat you want to put on your motorcycle. Let's get right into this thing. So the first thing you're looking at here is this pan. This is really the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes of the seat conversion kit. Now it's made of some fairly heavy duty steel. This thing is going to be nice. It's going to hold up well. And you can see they threw this nice chrome accent on here. It gives a good look, which is going to be important too, because as you guys know, if you pop your seat off, you can see quite a bit of the internals there with that frame. This is going to cover them up, keep things looking sanitary on top of your motorcycle. Seat springs are included on this thing, and you can see here there is also a seat hinge. This thing is also finished in black. It's ready to bolt up to the bike. Now I do have a couple nits to pick with this particular item. First is the seat hinge. This thing's kind of thin. If I was buying one of these and I was going to run it on my bike, I would probably expect to invest in a better seat hinge down the road as money allowed, simply because this one might not stand up to the rigors and vibration that a Harley-Davidson can dole out to finish metal. One of the other things too I wanted to address with you guys. Some of you are going to be thinking to yourself, I'm going to buy the LaRosa Solo conversion kit, I'm going to buy LaRosa saddle, everything's going to bolt up. That might not be 100% true. These two items, even though they look like they should go together just peachy, do require just a little bit of work to make it happen. Let me show you why. You'll notice here on the LaRosa Solo Seat that you're seeing on the website, there's a fair amount of kick up in this thing, and it happens very early in the seat. Most seats are pretty flat for Solos, and then at the back they kick just a little bit. This one has a very pronounced kick up, and it happens very early in the seat. What that means is that it doesn't really work well with a flat type seat hinge, the more standard seat hinge that they do include with the Solo conversion kit. If you bolt this seat onto here, you can actually see about this last 2 inches hanging out from underneath the seat. It looks a little bit strange. The other thing too is because of that kick up, what winds up happening is you have a very strange angle with those studs trying to come into the seat springs on here. So if you're hell-bent on using this saddle with this conversion kit, you're going to want to probably use a lower seat spring at bare minimum in order to get that thing on there. The other thing to remember too is you're not going to have your hardware for your seat here too. So your carriage bolts are going to be included in whatever seat you wind up picking up for your bike. However, when it comes down to lock nuts and washers, you're going to need to make sure that you have access to them the day you decide to do your actual swap over. All the pieces you need aren't necessarily included. So installation on this, like I had said, is going to be like a difficult one or an easy two-beer. Depending on what seat you have and what seat hinge you're going to run with, you may have a little finessing to do here, but nothing is going to require you to drag out the torch or any type of a cutting implement. So realistically speaking, with basic hand tools, a little bit of ingenuity, and a pile of spare hardware, most of you should be able to get this puppy on your bike with a Solo saddle, be riding around. It should look pretty good in a minimum of time. However, like I said, this is a bit of a DIY project. Depending on what kind of look you're shooting for, you may have to attack this with a bit of an open mind. You may need some stuff that doesn't necessarily come right in the box. All in all though, the hard part is done for you. This pan is definitely the difficult part. It's going to keep the bike looking sanitary. It's going to allow you to hook stuff up to it in terms of a Solo seat. So really, when it comes to the hard stuff, I'd say LaRosa really got the hard to fabricate stuff done for you. Everything else is pretty minor. Now, I'll be perfectly frank, this isn't exactly my cup of tea. I think a sprung saddle on a sprung bike is kind of like belt and suspenders. I don't really love the look. But hey, my bike's not everybody's bike. Click below, check out what some riders who already have this on their bike have to say about it. If you've got a question about fitting this thing up to your motorcycle, or perhaps something that I didn't get to in the video, get in touch with one of our gear geeks, 877-792-9455. You can always get us by email, cs@revzilla.com. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.